We all have ideas to improve our business, but how do we make sure we actually take the time to make the changes?
Find out today on the Friday Habit.
So, you want to be a successful entrepreneur,
We all do.
but it's much easier said than done.
To succeed, you need to constantly improve yourself and your business.
But when?
You're spending all your time serving your customers day to day, which can keep you from making critical improvements to your business.
Your list of things to fix is getting longer and longer, but nothing is changing.
This leads to working late nights and weekends and missing out on the best part of life.
We believe that your business should make your life better, not stress you out.
We get it. Being an entrepreneur means there's always a new challenge.
But if you make a habit of setting aside time every week,
Maybe Fridays.
you can grow your business to work for you.
We're going to show you how in 3 easy steps.
1. Subscribe to the Friday Habit.
Get actionable ideas to improve your business every Friday morning.
2. Use our free downloadable guide.
Learn how to set aside 1 day per week to make improvements to your business.
3. Boost your business.
Go from always feeling behind to being excited about the future.
So subscribe to the Friday Habit podcast so you can stop working late and instead create a healthy habit that will revolutionize your business.
And the future of mankind.
Let's just start with your business.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Friday Habit. I'm Mark Labriola, founder of Brand Viva Media, which is a digital content and marketing agency based out of Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, and I'm Ben Manley, the founder of Knapsack, and we build Squarespace websites. One of the things we're known for is just having a really rapid design development process where we build websites in 1 day while we work with our clients on video chat, and it's a ton of fun. I thought this would be a great time to just briefly talk about why we're doing the podcast. I know we both really care about giving back to the entrepreneur community from learning so much we've learned from podcasts and stuff like that. And really, helping businesses and business owners that are working in their business all the time and don't have time to kind of sit back and actually think about what could make their business better, practicing almost like self-care for their businesses. So, I know we talked about this is something we really hope will help you, the listener, in improving your business every week.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where, I assume that like-minded people will find this podcast and find it encouraging to them. We know how it is running a business by yourself, running and gunning, being a freelancer, and now we're at a place where we're managing employees and running a company. And so there's a lot of things that we've learned over the years. I always find it so helpful and beneficial when I run into somebody who's a little bit further ahead than I am. And then they're able to give me some advice that helps me shortcut and get to where I'm going a lot quicker.
That's awesome. I think together, hopefully, we'll be able to bring something that's helpful to everybody listening. So, do you want to jump into the main topic? What are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the 5 habits that will revolutionize your business. That's a bold statement, Ben. 5 habits.
And it will revolutionize your business. It's amazing. Like, it's been true for me. These are 5 things that I've learned and habits that I've kind of created that have really helped Knapsack grow in the last 7-8 years now.
Yeah, so let's jump on in. Habit number 1. And when you say habit, I mean, habit's one of those words where it's like habits are kind of difficult to create, or they take work. It's not something that is innately easy.
That is true. Yeah, and there's a lot of research about habits. I'm not going to get into all the details on that today, but basically, habit number 1 is to learn every week. And I originally put learn every day, but then I don't really know if that's realistic for everyone to learn a brand new thing every day as far as intentionally listening to a new podcast or a book. So I put something achievable that I think is good enough to get started is learn something new every week. And one way I make this a habit, and by habit, I mean something that kind of just gets ingrained in your daily or weekly routine, is keeping my podcast app on my home screen and making sure I'm subscribed to podcasts that are going to be beneficial to me. So I get notifications when a new podcast comes out that I know is going to give me good ideas for my business. So I don't have to be proactive in going out and searching out that stuff or looking for blog posts. Instead, I know it's kind of coming to me, so I can kind of be a little bit more passive in that I know people that are already curating content are kind of giving it to me, which just really helps with consistently getting new good ideas.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Audible as well. They just recently updated the app so you buy all your year's credits in one sitting, so you'll have like, like 6 or 12 credits. And so what I love about that is that, when I interact with people and they're like, "Oh, you need to read this book," I can quickly go on Audible and like download the book, and then I have that kind of in my queue to listen to on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also just thinking about times where you can overlap, activities like while you're exercising, going for a walk, it's a great time to just squeeze in a podcast or something like that, learn something new and, take a couple notes if there's something that's helpful to you. So yeah, and actually number two kind of goes right into that. Number two is capturing new ideas. Lots of times when you're learning something new, if you think of an idea based on that and how you can apply it to your business, sometimes it's easy to, let that get away by not writing it down somewhere. So I just recommend writing that down right away in a place that you're going to check regularly. So making it a habit to capture that immediately.
Nice. And as much as I hate Apple Notes on my iPhone, I feel like it like launches the quickest and it's like just available right then and there. But I also use Day One, which is kind of like a journal that's password protected and whatnot. And that's one of my favorite apps actually is Day One. I kind of capture all my personal like meditation and like other journaling stuff there, but then also business ideas. And
that's awesome. Yeah. And I use Slack for this because we have a team channel. It's actually called Friday, and I'll get to why here in a minute. But basically, we capture everything, any ideas we have in the business. I recommend including your teammates in this too. If you have employees or people on your team, when they think of an idea based on something they're learning, something that could apply to the company, just have them put a note into that Slack channel or into that shared document. And then when you review it, at the end of the week on Friday, you can kind of jump in there and go through everyone's ideas. That way you're not losing anything. I just remember so many times having ideas, at an organization I worked at, and they would come up and then they would just get lost because I didn't bring them up or we didn't have a set aside time to kind of review them. So just capturing them right away, even if you wake up in the middle of the night with a crazy idea like I do all the time, write it down and put it somewhere where you and your team can see it later.
Yeah, we do the same exact thing. And this is something that we picked up from you. And we actually use Asana, which is a project management tool. And so we actually create Friday, the project. And then in that project is like a Kanban board where you have, to do, doing, and done. And then we have one that's just ideas and then move those items into different Kanban areas.
Kanban, is it Kanban or is it Kanban?
Kanban, Kanban. Tomato,
Let's say
tomato.
Kanban. What's the difference? Kanban.
Kanban.
There you go.
Can you buy a bon? I don't know what it is. I've always said Kanban board. Have you always said Kanban?
That's how I've always said it. But hey, I'm sure our listeners will let us know one way or the other.
Is it caramel or caramel?
It's got to be caramel.
I think it's caramel.
Caramel. It sounds, I don't know. It just doesn't sound right. It's like pecan.
But it's pecan.
Yeah, pecan. I agree. Caramel and pecan goes together, but caramel and pecan.
Caramel and pecan.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right. Well, hey, whatever it is, it's a useful tool, and like Trello is a great free option too. I know.
Yeah, those are great. I love Kanban boards. They're great. So that's number two, capturing ideas. So learning every week, capturing new ideas was the first two habits. The third one is documenting problems. It's very similar to capturing new ideas, but it's the idea of when a problem comes up in your business, immediately write that down too. So when an issue comes up with a client or something happens that you're like, you know what, this has happened before, or this could happen again, write it down somewhere where you're going to review it next time. So I actually have an example of this one.
Oh, do you?
I do. I have an example.
Captain Example.
Yeah. So an example I have is that we used to have a lot of requests from people after we built their sites. So when we build a website for someone on Squarespace, we do it very rapidly. We do it in a day, but sometimes people have questions afterwards, and maybe just like 15-minute or 30-minute small changes to their site. So what we kept finding is that we were giving quotes for very, very small one-off projects. So it took us a lot of time to kind of review, give quotes on each of these things. And then people would have to wait to get those quotes back for these small little things on their sites. So instead of doing that and kind of trying to manage lots of small projects, we decided, let's write that down in our problems list. And then we review it on Friday, and we kind of brainstormed as a team, and we came up with the idea that we would basically start doing a subscription for those types of things. So if people have ongoing small questions, so we have a subscription membership they can sign up for, and then they can get all those things taken care of as part of subscriptions. So we don't have to quote it every time. So it saved us a lot of time on our end, and also give our customers a lot more confidence that if they ever need something, we're there to help them. So that's just an example of the type of thing that we would document as like a recurring thing where it's like, hey, it's taking us too much time, so let's fix this. So yeah, are there any things you can think of that you guys have like caught that's been a problem that you've like, all right, let's write this down and deal with it on a Friday?
Right now we've been using it a lot of just coming up with ideas, especially having a new person on the team. They kind of see the way you do things and say, hey, this is how we could do it better. And so that's how we've really been implementing the Friday habit.
Yeah, and I mean, those problems and failures are some of the best places to learn, because let's say you let a client down. Sometimes when you let a client down, that's the best opportunity to build trust with them, because if you fix things when something goes wrong, and then they trust you even more, that even when something goes wrong, that you will fix it and make it right again. So I think that's even a great opportunity to fix those problems.
Yeah. All right, so that moves us on to number 4. Habit number 4.
So yeah, number 4, perform a weekly review. So this is something we kind of touched on already on number 2 and 3 and referenced. Basically, this is the idea of taking a time every week to review those new ideas and problems that you've documented and captured. So what we do is schedule this on the calendar. So we have a recurring meeting every Friday at 10 a.m. With the whole team. It's me and 3 other people. And we'll actually pull out those exact lists I mentioned of ideas and problems and actually just talk through them together. And whoever wrote it in there brings it up and says, hey, here's a new idea I had. What do you guys think? And basically with each of those, we talk through them and we make decisions on whether we should do something about it or not right now, or whether it's something to table for later. And then if we decide to take action on it, we make sure we set a deadline for when it needs to be done. And we also make sure that someone's assigned to it. And we add it to a list where we can review it the next Friday and see if we've made any progress.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love this one because I feel like it definitely makes you be more intentional. Like you have to sit down and go through everything, which I think is probably the biggest hurdle that most people come across, is in the sense of a lot of times people have ideas, but then they don't have a space or time to share those ideas and talk about those ideas. So habit number 4, perform a weekly review.
Yeah. And number 5 is block off time to take action. So you'll see this whole thing is kind of like a funnel. You're learning every week, and then you're capturing the ideas you have and problems that come up. Then you're performing this weekly review on Friday. And that's all great because you're actually capturing your ideas. You're making decisions on what you should do. But if you don't have time to actually move these things forward, then none of it's worth it. So this is important to do number 5 too, which is blocking off time to take action. And basically the end goal that I recommend for people is to block off 1 whole day per week to focus on your business. So that's about 20% of your time. It might sound like a lot at first, but I feel like there's got to be places in your business where you can increase efficiency by 20%. There's always wasted time.
So would you say that the weekly review could be a different day than the time to take action? I mean, could you do a weekly review on Monday and then have Friday your time to take action?
Absolutely. You could do that. I think the reason I like having the review close to the time to take action is because you've made the decisions. It's clear in everybody's mind what needs to happen, and you can just do it all at once. If your schedule's a little bit more broken up than that and you can't sacrifice a full day a week, then yeah, absolutely. I think you could do it any day that you want.
Nice. All right, so to recap, we got 5 habits that will revolutionize your business. 1, learn from others. 2, capture new ideas. 3, document problems. 4, perform a weekly review. And 5, block off time to take action. This, once again, is not easy, and it takes a lot of intentionality. But if you are able to do these 5 things, you'll start to see your business shift. You'll start to find yourself having more time, and you'll start to see more growth taking place in what you're doing. So get out there and practice these 5 habits.
Yeah. And at the end of each of these podcasts, each episode, we want to give you an action item that's practical that you can do this week in order to make your business better. So for this week, our action item is to download the free guide we created to the Friday Habit System. It will help you to establish the 5 habits we talked about today, and it'll help you start making consistent weekly improvements, and that'll help you revolutionize your business.
And make sure to tune in next Friday where we talk about strategies to beat procrastination. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All of us entrepreneurs and self-employed people.
Yep.
Procrastination station.
That's right.
Well, hey, where can people find you, Ben, if they're curious to find out more about you and what you're up to?
Yeah, you can go to benjaminmanley.com, have links to different projects I'm working on there. Biggest one is knapsackcreative.com, which is my business where I build Squarespace websites. How about you, Mark?
Yep, and everyone can find me on Twitter at MarkLab2, and they can check out brandvivamedia.com to see what we're up to there. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening to the Friday Habit, and until next time, live every day like it's Friday.